Okay, let's see. Gotta do a couple things here real quick. Okay. I think I have posted everywhere I need to. Let's see. Oop. Oh god. It's awful. But I exist. Okay. That's all fine. That's all fine. Why are these like over from where they're supposed to be? Alright. I can close that screen. Oop, 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 oop. Cool. Okay. Let's switch over to some other music. Unfortunately, what we are doing this evening is a continuation of some very tedious work. Basically, and I haven't yet determined a better way to do this, I want visual icons for all the potential inputs, all the controls and stuff. And to complicate things, for accessibility purposes, I allow key rebinding. So it's not even like it's a defined set of keys. Someone could theoretically use any input for something. So I have to store that information somewhere so that I can match those up with the appropriate textures. And the only way I've thought to do that so far is by storing it all in a database. I'm sure there's a faster way to do it. I don't know what that is just yet. I mean, the faster way is probably to break it up into separate databases depending on like the platform, so it doesn't have to sort all of the keys. But I didn't do that. And for right now, it's more about getting the keys set up. Once they're set up, I could break out these rows into separate tables if it was a performance issue. I kind of suspect that it won't be that it won't be a huge issue. And really, given that I can't guarantee like console release or anything, the platform information that I've put in here is more of like future planning and additional potential for filters than anything else. I think if I do this and it works, I'm gonna like save it somewhere where I can copy it over anytime I want to do this same thing again, so that I don't have to reinvent the wheel each time. It's probably the smartest option. Let me do something here real quick. Yeah, that should be good. That way I can monitor that. Shit. T5. I do wish that data tables allowed you to specify just that a specific row should be, or specific column should be your like row name, because this is dumb. Like, I want to call this the key because that's what it is. It's this guy. But I don't want to have to renumber it, and I don't want to have to like create a unique name. I could let it fill whatever it wants, but then it would be a fucking nightmare. So I do wish that it was a little more like a traditional table in that instance, or traditional database. And I mean, if I had to, but I don't think it would be a good idea, I could store like a local, just like SQL file or JSON file even. Because I could export this to JSON and then parse JSON. And it would get, like, I could trim out those extra columns basically. But that doesn't seem faster at all. So, not that. You absolute monster. Yeah, see, if I let it just put whatever in it wanted as the row name, it'd be like new row 1, new row 2, new row 3. It would be like, you know, the people who just create folders on their desktop and leave them all named as like new folder. Ugh. Borderline PTSD flashbacks from that. Add in like 45 seconds. Here it comes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on, Bezos. Run your ad. Money. Come on. Come on. It defeats the purpose of a countdown if you then just sit here and twiddle your thumbs saying ad starting soon. There it goes. Let's see. Does it maintain that like it's supposed to? It does. Cool. I had not actually tried to do that yet. Cool. Alright, back from ads. Because, you know, this is so riveting. It's like data entry. Almost literally. Like the data. I mean, it kind of just is data entry, to be honest. Nope. I was hoping I could just like shortcut that, but on some ladders that's gonna work, and others it's just gonna completely fail. Hi, Zoomers. Appreciate you coming by. I was ranting to myself. I came to the realization that what I'm doing right now is so tedious. It is almost literally data entry. It's like doing a data entry job. So riveting. Yeah, it doesn't like to do that with H. I mean, I can kind of do that. You know, all those elements are so small on screen, I should probably just do this. Oh god, encoding's getting overloaded. Oh no, don't you do it. Why, you absolute piece of trash, why are you overloaded? What if I do that and exit some other stuff? Will it, like, give you the extra overhead you need? Yes, yes. That was probably a mistake. Maybe I need to... Oh, I wonder if that got changed. We'll see if that helps at all. The quality might go in the shitter. We'll see what happens. let's see. And then another one. Hold on, I fucked up my numbers at some point. Oh god. Oh. There it is. Okay, it's gonna be M, boop, and boop, M, key. Oh god, and then I have all of the number pad keys to do, and all of the function keys to do, and then all of this bullshit, all the modifier keys basically, all the punctuation keys. Oh god, it's so awful and I hate it. I suppose the good news is that unlike the gamepad, there's only one keyboard, really. And the layout's not relevant because the keys are the same. So I only have to do the keyboard one time, as opposed to all of the gamepads where I do the same shit over and over and over. Because honestly, despite having the other platforms listed in the platform enums, there's no real reason to change, like to have duplicates of the keyboard. So the only real variant in that would be Mac versus Windows because of the command key. But like, it's easy enough. Oh jeez. Thank you for that, Amber. As always. What the golf? Were you playing golf? Is that a solo one? Were you playing golf by yourself or are you playing golf with other people? It was solo. That's what I thought. I was pretty sure I've seen people play it collectively, which seems like it's pretty chaotic. Doing your work, Lurk. Well, thanks for coming by. It was chaotic as a clone. I can imagine. You should know that in terms of like, well, So my wife hasn't seen any of your streams firsthand, but I've told her about them and showed her clips before. And the one, in terms of chaos, that always comes up is, I don't remember the name of the game, but it was where you had to control it with your voice. You had to like verbally speak the commands. And I was in the chat for part of it, and we kept getting you to say the command words to mess you up. She loves to bring that up. I think that has like a permanent place in her brain. Voice Quest, yes. So that lives rent-free in her head, apparently. You're glad? I swear this may as well be a data entry job. Oh my god, I can't wait until I finish this data table and have everything I need going forward. Boop. And T. What? Really? That doesn't make any sense. I refuse to believe that. Really? What do you mean the T key isn't there? Excuse you. What? Oh, did it not prefix it? Because it's... So... Okay, so the funny thing about files in Unreal is, depending on what type of content it is, like if it's a texture or a blueprint, things like that, Unreal has certain linting that it expects, which is where it like has prefixes on the file type name, so that at a glance, if all you're seeing is the name of the file, you know what type of element it is. And for textures, the default linting is T, I don't think case matters, but a capital T underscore and then your file name. Well, by default, these texture assets were all the name of the key underscore dark, because there's a light variation too that I'm not worrying about. And it didn't occur to me when I linted the files automatically that it would not lint T underscore key underscore dark. That is funny. And also problematic for locating the file. So we're going to fix that. Pretty minor fix, all things considered. V key. W key. Boop, 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 boop. Cool. That looks like that's not freaking out now. T underscore. Oh, wait a minute. That should be X, because this is the next key that I haven't done yet. Boop. Boop. Okay, cool. Y. Boop. 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 D. Y. Z. Or Z for you, Amber. I'm assuming you would say Z, probably. Is this one then? Is it still 0? Oh, is there not a... Oh, that's interesting. That is correct. You went British English on me. Well, I thought I might, like, offend you by... Not literally, but, like... Figured you'd come at me for saying Z. I am, like, aware of the differences. I'm aware of a number of linguistic differences. Okay, so I don't have num lock keys. That's interesting. Because that means I can't distinguish between the two. I would more so laugh that you would think I would have a go at you because I totally would. Well. I think I've got you figured out in a number of respects. But what I can't get behind, I can get behind referring to either the letter as Z or the number 0 as Z. The fact that, to my understanding at least, in British English, that both 0 and Z are Z. And I get why. I mean, the number starts with that letter, but it's dumb. It's dumb. We don't give each other that much shit. Just just a little bit of shit. I'm much better behaved than I could be. I am probably worse to Starby. I'm more of a bully to Starby than I am to you. And I don't know why. She probably did something at some point. I don't like that these are going to be the same keys. They're not going to be like visually distinct. So I may have to do something about that. I'm not super stoked about it. But short of preventing someone from using those keys, I don't know really what to do. I guess I could create unique textures for them, but that is not a current priority. I suppose once I get this working, it would be possible to do that. Once the process actually works. That would be a pretty minimal change. Because I could just do the new textures. T6 key. I did do this, right? Disable, yeah, cool. 2, 4, boop. Num 7. Boop. And boop. T7 key. Num 8. Boop, boop, boop. 8 key. And boop. Boop, boop, boop. And num 9. Seven. Okay. So num asterisk, I'm assuming is going to just be an asterisk for now. Boo, 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 boo. Yeah, asterisk. Oh, my apologies, Unreal. It's the multiply key. It's like, you're not wrong, but I don't think anybody actually calls it that. I mean, maybe on the number pad specifically. I don't know. A full number pad actually isn't terribly common nowadays. Okay. Is it done as a plus? Yeah. And see, this is interesting because here it actually does distinguish because it treats it as a tall key, which is really weird. Like, and presumably it does the same. Yeah, it does the same thing for enter. I remember seeing that. So why didn't the texture pack treat the num keys in general as separate keys? But interestingly enough, Unreal doesn't consider that enter key. That's interesting. Everybody's so inconsistent. Num. Is it decimal? No. Numlock is its own thing, but what? Do you not? I need to check something. Boop. Let's see. Where did my folder go? Are you not going to open a new folder? There it goes. Okay. Oh, that's not the button. That's the button. Did I fail to add some of these by chance? Well, okay, so I guess technically it includes the keys in the form of, it includes like a regular period key in the form of the caret keys for the period and the comma. It does it because it doesn't include either of those. Did the old kit include them? The previous version I had? Seemingly not, which is interesting. Huh. I mean, I guess by that standard, then it's a delete key. The good news is I can make new ones later. I don't like it though, is the thing. All right. You have slash, but you don't have forward slash? Because why though? Why you do this to me? Those are technically separate keys. I guess technically the other one is a question key, but the slash is in a different direction. Why you do this to me? Fine. There's no slash. I don't like it. I'm gonna have to make some changes to that. F2. Oh. That was dumb. F3. 30 seconds. Set this up for F9. Boop, 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 boop. Ad is starting any moment now. F10. Oop. Save. Ooh. Okay, couch. Put your teeth. Come on, Bezos. Run your ad. There it goes. Then we shall switch to the intermission screen, since that's now a thing I can seamlessly do. About 50 seconds left on the ad break. Not that. About 13 seconds left on the ad break. 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back from ads. All right. Back to this nonsense. Okay. I don't know why I typed F13. There's not an F13 key. Oh, God. Numlock. There is a numlock. T num numlock. 224. Scroll up. I don't. Did it come with a scroll key? There's a print screen one. Does scroll lock double as something? Is it just lock? Nope. May just do this one as blank for now. Interesting. Surprised it doesn't consider one of those in the texture pack. Really? Got page up, page down. Print screen. Insert. And that's surprising that it doesn't have consideration for a scroll lock key. That's fine, that's fine. Lift, shift. I mean, the shift keys are going to be identical, so... Excuse me. It might actually be in there as shift left, or just shift. Yeah, just shift. Probably just do it as the small one. Oh god, I forgot to do the name. I should have just duplicated the previous one. I thought about it at like the last minute. I was like, oh, why am I doing this manually? Control D. CTRL? Yeah, it's CTRL. Oop. Easy enough. Okay. Wait. What? Am I dumb? Oh god, what is right command on most keyboards? I mean, I think on a Mac keyboard it is just command, but... So that's going to be that. also going to do this. Keyboard, right command key. That's on a Mac keyboard though. So, Is it still a Windows key? Because on my keyboard it's a function key, maybe. Or a context menu key. Yeah, a lot of... I guess on a Mac it exists. Okay. Let's do this then. That'll be fine. Is there an option key? No. So that's still just Alt, even though on a Mac it's Option. Why do you have to be weird? Do I even have Option in here as a key? Why you gotta be weird? See, even as great as that asset pack is, or the texture pack is, doesn't account for everything. Really? Why would you not have an equals key? What? Absolute monsters. All right. T blank. Normal. these things called? Oh, it calls it a mark. Well, the fuck? Weird noises. Hyphen. Nope. Is it dash? Nope. The fuck do you call it in the textures? There's a tilde. I mean, you have a minus, but that's not technically the same thing. I disapprove, but I guess that's what we're using for now. Oh god, there's definitely not an underscore key in that mess. Hello, welcome in. Yeah, there is no underscore in these existing textures, so I'll have to make one. But that is a later problem, so boop, 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 and boop. So there's also not a true period key, so that's gonna have to be the other mark for now, since that's technically the same key. So that's on my list of to-dos. Mark rate. 241. You're a little late on that Pokemon there, Amber. Slash. I saw everything. Let me guess, you didn't have chat scrolled down far enough to see that it had escaped? I don't think there's one for that either. Because it treats the tilde key separately, doesn't it? Or is it treating that as the... Oh, hold on. What is it treating... Keyboard... So it actually doesn't show a tilde. So then I guess that is the tilde key. I mean, it's on the tilde key, but that's weird because from an engine standpoint, in inputs, I could have swore I gotta get past all this. Oh god, what is all this on here? What? Working in UE5. I decided not to upgrade to UE5 anytime soon. I've still got a lot of plugins and stuff that I like for 4 that I don't know if they've ever been updated. And I don't need Lumen. I'm not going to be working at a high enough detail level that I need like Lumen and Nanite and all that other stuff. So I'm just going to stick with 4. It's been out a lot longer. It should be fine. Yeah, console keys. This is what I was looking for. Okay, I could have swore that it called it the tilde key or showed the tilde icon, but it does not. Interesting. Okay, but that is the tilde key, so that's fine. Tilde, or not. Oh. Tilde. Okay. I was saying it wrong, apparently. I've always called it a tilde key, so I've always been wrong. That's cool. I don't know why I'm just learning that. I'm a little old to be learning that. Left bracket. Boop, and boop. Bracket left. Bracket right. Texture bracket. Bracket right. That's that. And then 245. Backslash. So I will need to create another slash. But for now, they're just gonna all be the same one. That's fine. Not other. You. Yeah, because there's no backslash in that texture pack. That's fine. It's all fine. I wish I already had my fine emote in Twitch chat. It's appropriate, but there is not room for it. Apostrophe. Why no room for it? There's not enough open emote slots. We currently use all of the open emote slots. How do I get more? You get more with sub points. I thought, Amber, you would know that, wouldn't you? or are you baiting me into chilling? We unlock another standard emote slot in like 79 subscriber points. I think it's 1 point per tier 1 sub. Oh, that's not right. Where is it? Oh god, it was a bait. It was a bait.
Toaster_Ultimate has just subscribed on Twitch.
79 more. Was that a setup? That feels like a
Auramora
setup.
has just subscribed on Twitch.
Yeah, baited? That's what I thought.
Yuki Wu has just subscribed on Twitch.
I sensed it right as I said it.
Brute Light Zero has just subscribed
Thank
on
you,
Twitch.
I don't have a cheer button for you. I just have a boo
Jesus
button.
Freak has just subscribed on Twitch.
But yeah, I have like, I think I've got most of the
Ambocesia has gifted 5 subs to viewers.
Wow, TTS cannot handle your username. I've got like most of the easy low-hanging fruit emote slots basically. So now I have to get a bunch of sub points to get any more. But they're all on Discord. So they're not like wasted. They're just not usable in Twitch chat. I think I could use like it's like Better TV or something. It's an extension. I could use that and upload them there, but then only the people that have the extensions would see them, I believe. And I don't know enough about those extensions to like promote them, so I don't think I have the appropriate keys for some of these, so we're gonna set these to just normal keys for now. I don't know who would be key binding to these. But I will have to deal with them eventually. I'm kind of not sure what... It may be referencing certain keyboards, because like, what the hell is a quote key? Like, a quotation mark key is different, and like I don't have a left parentheses key on my keyboard. What keyboard layouts is it referencing with this? That's so weird. Well, I'll do asterisks. We have that. Why do they spell it like that? Yeah, I suppose I have to be proud for that bait. That was a good bait. I almost walked directly into it without being suspicious. Though I'm pretty sure if you were to go back and look real close, I did like, I gave the monitor like in your direction side eye. Like I squinted at you when I realized you were asking a question that you should darn well know the answer to. these are all existing keys. Oh. Some of these could be like the shift combinations of these other keys. I suppose that's a possibility. Okay, well... I think that'll be pretty sufficient. Hype train ended. I've apparently collected all of the level 1 hype train emotes. Oh my goodness. Of 1 hype train emotes completed, pals. Right. Mouse. Middle. Mouse X T mouse simple copy. Although I could probably just do it like this 252 mouse Y, and that should account for. There's definitely more inputs necessary, but I think for now that probably handles most of it. So, okay, let's figure out how to get this guy working correctly, because right now, where is it? I think I have to do this. Yeah, so right now, if I choose a key, say the up key. All right. That's not correct. Interesting. Okay, so there's something screwy in my system here. Which this part should all be fine. This stuff is fine because as far as I know it works. So, most likely our problem is in here. No, sorry, in here. What? But chord structure, key structure. Can I break this? Break input chord key. Because that should trigger the same workflow when one of these is set. Nope. I mean, it triggers something. Something happens. But that is not correct. Why does it... Okay, well that does something at least, because the modifiers are showing for the axis inputs. That part's working. So it's definitely in the it's definitely in this function where things are being problematic. Okay, so it's looping through each row in the data table. And it's checking to see if the key from the key structure matches the key from the key image structure, which is what's inside that row. If it does match true, it adds it to an array of matching keys. And it does this because, especially in regards to the gamepads, internally they're all referred to as the same thing. Like, there's a few unique buttons. Like, the PlayStation has its touchpad. That's unique to the PlayStation controllers. But these guys are all named with standard names. These are face buttons, so up, right, left and down, D-pad upright, left and down. These are referred to as bumpers, even though on the PlayStation they refer to them as L1 and R1. The triggers are triggers, and the sticks are sticks. So internally, these are all the same, meaning if it's looking for a gamepad input, it's going to pull back multiple results. So it goes ahead and it pulls into this, and then, oh. Yeah, no, we're fine. It pulls into this. Oh, we're in an ad break. All right, well, we'll take the ad break. Oh, God. So many messages. Settle down, Streamlabs. Toggle breakpoint on the function, see if the key is what you want it to be. Yeah, well, it should be. I'll go into it after the ad break, but that value that's coming in is what's set on the field. So what's being initially provided should be correct. I suspect, because I perform an additional loop, because once I get them all and I get the matching results so that I can account for the different gamepads, I then loop through them to determine which, if it's a gamepad, and which one, and then get the appropriate icon for it. And I suspect that's where the problem is. Okay, we should be back from ads. So, yeah, we get the matching keys. At the very least, the key coming in here should be correct, because, I mean, its default value is none, but that's getting provided here on our input graph, which at the very least gets triggered in a couple different ways. The event pre-construct, as well as, and honestly, it can probably be triggered here too, but it doesn't need to be, because pre-construct, it should be getting it. And also, there's a custom event that can be triggered so that the parent object can call it. But right here is what's triggered on key selected. That is triggered from the input key widget, which is this guy, which is behind the icon. Like, because this is the key icon. It's actually just in here, and it's used to actually show the icon on the screen, or it's used to actually take the input. The other widget, this guy here, key icon, is what's actually showing the icon. If I just relied on this, it would show it as text, which is functionally fine, but I feel like from an accessibility standpoint, the icons are more readable, because especially if someone's like dyslexic, they're more likely to recognize the image than they are a word at a glance. So I'd like to stick with the images as much as possible, and I'd like it to be dynamic. So what we should be getting from this guy should be correct at this point. We can toggle a breakpoint. Let's see. Let's do it. I don't know if it's going to work in this case because we're not going to actually run the BRB coffee run. All right. We're not going to actually run the widget in the world. So I'm not sure if the breakpoint will work in that context. We shall see. Create two free table rows, keys. Make a CSS. I could get it to do the really repetitive work. I try to avoid using AI models because of the ethics on which they're trained. I do think they're useful at troubleshooting problems, because they can search the internet so effectively. It doesn't mean they're always right with their solutions, and their solutions aren't always effective. But especially if it's a case of I typoed something somewhere, if I give it a bunch of code, it's more likely or going to be quicker at picking out where I typoed something than I will, because when you read something, your brain will kind of automatically fix the issues. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. We can try to trigger the breakpoint. I don't think it's gonna trigger it. Boo, 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 boo. Yeah, it doesn't. I didn't see any obvious sign that it triggered it. And I don't have this stuff in the world yet because I'm not really that far with it. Like I'm building the AI, or not the AI, building the UI to be kind of modular so I can reuse it in a few different places. Yeah. So this would execute if I was actively running it, but I'm not. It's kind of like I could do a watch value on these, but unless I would say simulate, but this isn't in the world yet, so I don't think it's going to simulate either. So those don't work. But regardless, it's passing a value. And I mean, this here should be ensuring that when I select a key, the key is definitely getting passed, but also when the stuff's created, it should be ending up in here. Now what we could do is now we have to assume by this point that it's already been found, but it's possible that it hasn't been. This is extra crap. In fact, this is not very efficient, but for the sake of testing at this point, I want to check if the key value is set. And if not, I'll get it from this struct. Boop. And I tell you what, let's do is not, or okay, we'll just do equal equals none, and then we'll do a not Boolean. Branch. And if it's true, and it's not none, we'll proceed about our way. Get that up there. If it's false, we will set the key before we proceed. This should ensure that no matter how this widget is created, and this is a really messy way of doing it, but this should ensure that no matter how the widget's getting created, the key that is in the input selected key is the one getting used. Which is interesting because even as a variable, it doesn't itself seem to because I am noticing that I don't think I'm setting copy this. This is such a mess, but I'm curious of something. I don't think I'm setting this anywhere. Make a new key variable at the end of the functions that set type key variable that's exposed as your key. Well, so that's kind of what I'm wondering, because so I had a key variable, but also there's the input key, which is an actual like input bind widget. And I suspect that there's a mix-up there in terms of what it's looking for. Let's see what happens now. I'm also not sure why it's choosing the mouse. It's very specific in what it chooses. Like, I actually had this problem before. I had everything entered, and part of the reason I was filling out the data table was because before, when I tested it, it was always defaulting to one of the gamepad special buttons. I don't remember which one, which was very strange. So something is leading it. Oh, you know what it's doing? I don't know why, but I don't know why it's doing it yet, but I figured out what it's doing. It is defaulting to the very last entry in the data table. This guy. Because when I was doing it before, the very last, I only had one controller here, and it was this one. This was the very last key. This is what it was going to. So in my combination of loops, it is, excuse me, it is going through, but I don't know why it's doing that, because it should be looking for the key information here and matching up the key. So, did I lose you, Amber? Are you confused? But that's what it's doing. It's coming for whatever the last one is in the data table. So why? Well, so the part that seems to be working actually is all this over here. This is used to make sure I have arrows for directions on my axis inputs. So that's working, albeit it seems to go away sometimes, but it works. Trademark. Like TM. It's like the Bethesda version of it works. So it's here where we're having a problem. Now we are, because the texture object reference is different than texture 2D, we are having to pass that here, which is fine. That's not the issue because it is casting the texture. So it's what it's getting out of here. Which is interesting because my fallback should actually end up with it ending up as a blank key. Okay, so loops through, and it should be matching break key image, match key structure to key structure. It's matching key structures. Now, the only thing I think I could do different there would be, can I break this? What if we break the key? Well, no, that in itself doesn't really, because its values, those aren't the values that I should really be comparing, because they should be relatively unique. So it should loop through. It should be adding matching keys. Well, it's adding the matching row, which is fine because we need the other information in the row. So this part should be working. If you're dealing with a gamepad input, you're probably going to have more than one result in here, but keyboard inputs should be unique since I don't have duplicate entries for those. And then once it completes its loop, it's supposed to check if there's more than, it's basically making sure that it's not empty. Which, actually, let's make this not confusing. Let's do a not Boolean and change this to true. So as long as the length is greater than 0, and if it's just 1 long, then it should just straight up output. Oh, wait a minute. I think I could have found the issue. So it could be here. Because if our input was one long, one of the things I was assuming was that if the entry was one long, if the array here was one long, then whatever loop we were in the data table row, whatever row we were in the data table should be correct. But what did we do right before we came here? We completed our loop, which means we were at the end of the data table. So I can't pull the info. I just saw this break basically when I was doing this, and I was like, oh, info is right here for that row. That's bad. So what we now have to do then is do this, do a get, find, basically, should work. Not find. Get by ID, I think is what it is. What is it actually called? Utilities array. What? By index. It should just, there should just be a get by index. They're not. There's a valid index. Finds the index. I don't need that. I need to just get one from a specific. Yeah, that's what I thought too, but when I type in get, I get a copy or get a ref. I want to get a specific. That would. Oh, wait, yep, nope, you're right. It wasn't saying index. I was confusing myself. It's been a long day. So we wanted it at index 0, and then we'll need to break it. Not key, icon. Icon's what we want. Platform and brand in case we need those. And then true boop. Okay. The rest of this is for trying to determine what controller it is, which should only be for gamepads, since that's where the multiple entries are. So I'm actually not sure why the gamepad part didn't seem like it was working, but it could have been because of my stupidity here. So, boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. Let's just go with a keyboard key, like, oh, hey, we got it. Down. D. Cool. So keyboard keys work. It doesn't switch back when you go to none, but that's fine for the moment. Now do gamepad buttons work? No, but I think I know the reason for that. Because we're not running the game. So currently, because of the way I did this, there is no gamepad for it to reference. So the way I did that was I did a little digging on how you would determine that and found that I could write a C++ or a couple functions into the system, and I added them into my game mode. And it's doing a few things, but basically it uses the raw input plugin to get controller information, and then is passing things through vendor IDs for some known product IDs, and outputting what it detects. I don't have all the ones I'll ultimately need in order to support a wide variety of specific controllers, but none of this is running, I'm sure, because we're not actually in the game. So this part ain't doing jack shit. So what we probably needed to do is, because it can't get the game mode, but to be honest, I'm kind of surprised it isn't defaulting to one. Oh, because I have it default to other. I should just have it default to Xbox. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Again, so that it's not confusing, because I did this in a dumb way. Whoop, and then whoop. The thing is, this wouldn't be running at all. So it's probably not getting anything from that right now when it does this. Can you probably can't do anything to like determine there's not really like a try-catch situation here. And we're also not throwing an error, technically. I think what I'll do is let's have a variable, and we'll call it controller override. And we'll allow This will be something we'll allow the player to change on the menu. Which means we'll probably end up having to set it as like a constant in the environment. But that way, let's see. We also need to probably have, in order to do this in a way that makes sense, we probably need a Boolean is, or be override controller type. Defaulted to false. So, what we can then do is branch this. Oh god, I hate the auto arrangement sometimes. It does really weird things. Get this. If it's going to auto override, then we'll have it do a controller override, boop, and boop. And at that point, because we don't get the connected Boolean from this guy. Wait a minute. Excuse you, Spotify. When did you switch over to other music that is not, definitely not royalty free? When did you do this? Oh, like, kinda recently. No, bueno. Why you do this? Alright, well then we're changing. I don't want copyright claims. Go away. Well, it's the same like Streambeats thing that I've been using, kind of. It's a different playlist. It's by the same people. But Spotify, for whatever reason with that playlist, I guess, decided it was done with that playlist and it was going to move on to other similar music. So let's So we can do. We can probably copy this, put it up here. Run this to it. Run this to it. And then run. Excuse me. Run this to that. So what that should mean is, let's say I set a gamepad input, face button bottom, for instance. By default, it won't do anything, but if I override the, I saw it blink. Gamepad face button. It thought about it. There is still an added thing to this, and that is that we also are going to have to match the platform. Let's make this an or, and then do it platform. Let's see. Get enum's entry name by enum value. No, that's not it. There was a way I did that. How did I do that? Getting the platform. I think I did that on here. Even bother with that here? No. Where did I do that? Not here. Oh, geez. It might be... in here. Oh God. No. Find references. Okay, so I didn't with that apparently. Oh, let's see. UE for compare. Yeah, well. an ad break. Let's see. We were just in an ad break. As far as what you missed, I guess that depends on when you went away. So I figured out at least part of the problem and got the keyboard keys working. So the keyboard keys work. Turns out I was doing a big dumb, and yeah, I don't know if you were here for that part. I fixed the keyboard keys themselves work. When I was checking, because most of the time a keyboard key will return one value, because I only have one icon for each keyboard key input. Right. So I got that fixed. So then what I was moving on to were the gamepad icons, because those don't show up. But I realized the reason the gamepad ones don't show up is I have a function here that comes from an interface on my game mode. And my game mode doesn't run unless the game's active. Which isn't necessarily a problem, but I would like to know that the rest of the system's going to work. So, and I should probably have a system for overriding detected controllers, because this, where the hell is it? This guy. So this was based on some stuff I found online where someone else tried to do something similar. And it's using the raw input plugin and some C++ on the back end. That's basically where is he? He's in here somewhere. Yeah, this guy. I don't know why I was blind. That's basically where this guy's coming from. And it pulls all the registered devices, checks them for their device IDs as well as their vendor IDs, and tries to match them up appropriately. I don't actually have the vendor... No, I do have the vendor ID for Switch. I don't have the vendor ID for these other ones. And keyboard and mouse won't have one. The only other thing I'll have to consider on this that was noted in the forum stuff I found was if your user is using the Steam controller input API thingy to like remap a controller, then this will report a PlayStation controller, for instance, as being an Xbox controller. So that is one issue that can kind of be gotten around by using the actual product ID if you have a table of product IDs, but I couldn't really find one of those, and I'm assuming, based on some quick Googling, that they're not really consistent. So without testing a bunch of controllers to confirm, I don't know if that's viable. So the easiest solution, and the best solution in case this fails to detect a certain controller, like a third party or something, is to allow the user to specify what controller icons they want to use. So I decided I would go ahead and add that in. And I can use that in the meantime until I have this in the world and tested. So right now I've got a variable set for that. I've got some defaults on it, and that part is my controller override should be working. The thing I still have to consider, because especially in the case of PlayStation and Xbox, is I have accounted for the possibility of having platform of being able to release on console eventually. So I identify what platform you're on. Well, that means there's technically an entry for each right now, because the icons are a little different. So I need to also confirm the platform. So what I'm going to do... We need to compare this to our enum of platforms. I can do an enum to a string, but I needed to do it for all of them, and I don't want to do it a bunch of times. So I could have this, my intention was to have this filled externally, but it's not right now. So for now, let's just do it this way. Expose on spawn. And then we can just do a comparison to this. We can assume that the platform is Windows, or no, yeah. I say Xbox for now, because that'll ensure we don't have a Windows Xbox controller. But what I can do is say, because I was kind of already planning for it, is say current platform, platform equals current platform or platform equals Windows. That way, it'll still recognize it for Windows. should pull. There's some finagling behind that doesn't really need to be there in the long run, but probably needs to be there for now. Okay. So gamepad stuff still doesn't work, but keyboard stuff works. I'm gonna assume for the moment that, of course, if there's no match, it doesn't do anything. I'm gonna assume for the moment that some of that'll get resolved when I'm running the game because of the game mode stuff. For now, we can do it like that. You missed a cutie fly? Oh no! Well, I can't make it come back, unfortunately. Okay. There will be another. Yeah, that's true. Eventually. Do. Oh, it's a chord structure. Break input chord. should ensure that when one of these is set, okay, so those change on that front. At least when they're initially set. Gamepad stuff still doesn't, but that's fine. That's to be expected. So not that. There we go. All right. So this is not passing along. Which is, I mean, we're like 2 levels up now at this point. Because the idea is we'd have several of these. Let me go ahead and put more than one of these out here, just so I can make sure that we have some variation when I get to actually test that stuff. Face button bottom. Automatically set by the mapping name. I may need to figure out what that's about. That could be part of my problem here. I think they're both getting called the same thing. No, they're not. Okay. No, I understand what it's doing. I understand why that is. Okay. That's not the answer to the question, but I understand. Okay, interesting. There's probably something at this level that we need to deal with. Because changing them here works. But that's the same. Unless we need to have... Oh, God. Do we have to have... Do I have to do a dispatcher here? That would be pretty awful. But that would make a level of sense. I assumed it had to be... let's see. Oops. On child selected. Primary. Then I probably just need to do another one of these. I guess that's what I need to do. That's what I did here to get that working. So So alright. At this point, I'm like 2 nested blueprints deep on that, and that's probably why this is getting weird. But it's like almost 10 o'clock, so this is future me's problem. Let's see. Let's see who is here. Thank you, Amber. Let's go say hi to Zen. Zen is doing a crazy thing where it's called like Archipelago. They have like a bunch of retro games that affect each other when you do different things in them. It's kind of crazy. I've seen bits and pieces of it. And Zen's cool. Their chat's goofy. Everybody have a good night.